G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you enjoyed today's episodes, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, let's get right into it. Posted by user NormalBottle641, titled, "My husband doesn't want to have intimacy with me unless it is to conceive kids." Sorry, English isn't my first language. I, female 26, have recently got married to my husband, Edward, male 26, 2 months ago. We both attended the same church ever since we were born, and I started to like him over the years. At 20, we started gradually talking to each other and got engaged at 24. My husband is very religious and never misses a service. I too am religious, but not as much as him. We both respect the other's choice, and it's not really an issue between us. However, when we were dating and engaged, he didn't come near me in any way. For example, we rarely held hands, and he never hugged nor kissed me on the cheeks, even though it's a form of greetings that are very used in our culture. It bothered me a bit, but I think that he was doing it out of respect. The roller coaster was our wedding night. During the ceremony, we danced for the first time, we held hands, and we got to our hotel. We hugged, and he kissed me for the first time on my lips. It wasn't like making out or anything, just a peck. That's it. Nothing else. We didn't do anything more. Not even cuddle. We just showered and went to sleep because we were extremely exhausted. Right when I was about to fall asleep when we were talking, he told me that he won't do anything unless it is to conceive kids. I wasn't sure of what to say, so I just remained silent and dozed off. This literally crushed my expectations. Of course, I understand that he doesn't want to do anything, but really? Not until we decide to have kids, which is minimum 2 years away. I love my husband with all of my heart, and I would never leave him as he is the best and most respectful human being I've ever met, and an amazing person overall. But I can't seem to accept this. Ever since I was a teen, I've been addicted to Wattpad and spicy stories. So of course, I have always dreamt of my wedding night. I didn't really want to keep my expectations really high, because I knew that it would most likely not come to reality. But I never thought that this would happen. I was disappointed for the rest of our honeymoon, which lasted a week. I know it's my fault for not talking to him about it, but I was really afraid of doing so. You see, in our culture, it's not appropriate for a woman to talk about these things, nor initiate intimacy. Plus, Edward is religious, like I said, so I was afraid of him judging me if I did anything that he could consider unholy or whatever. I even tried to seduce him for the past couple of months, but he wouldn't look at me. Not in a mean way, but he would just laugh it off and give me a peck or something like that. It really started to bug me because I have a somewhat high drive and really want to do things with him. I can't help it. I don't really know what the reason is behind this, and I don't know how to address the subject with him. Once more, I will not even consider leaving him. So please, all advice will be appreciated. In the comments, Emotional Agony 29 says, "He didn't even give you a choice to consider if you still wanted to marry him? I mean, did you know that he wouldn't have sex with you unless it was to conceive kids? Or he dropped that bomb on your wedding day after you married him? Annulment, OP. He's not the one for you. He hasn't given you the choice." Dude didn't even hold her hand before the wedding day. Damn repressive culture made her completely unprepared. I'm surprised she didn't see this as a red flag after all the Wattpad romances she's read though. Romance writers do tend to skew feminist. Yeah, I gotta agree. I'm surprised too. 4 years of not holding her hands, no hugs, and even no kisses on the cheek. I can't even. I have a suspicion about the reasons. Him growing up in an extremely religious surrounding and not even wanting to hold hands, generally not being interested. Maybe he's gay? Sweetie, you need to talk to whoever does couples counseling at your church and tell them the marriage isn't consummated. This isn't you having a high drive or being inappropriate as a woman. There is a real problem here. You need an annulment. Your marriage isn't legal. She says she doesn't want to leave him, but for most churches, it is needed to consummate the marriage, i.e., have sex to be considered as married. She may be married legally, but she's not married to him religiously, if they're from this type of church. I think even legally it's not a marriage until it's consummated. You can legally get it annulled for that reason. I agree. He's most likely gay. I'm so sorry. Update. So, after posting yesterday, I was literally bombarded by hundreds of comments suggesting that Edward might be a homosexual and using me to cover up his sexuality. I wasn't ready at all for such a possibility, and it had never actually crossed my mind. Compared to other people from our community, we are one of the few who aren't homophobic, and we previously discussed our sexualities before. I don't want to really get into this topic, but Edward was really honest with me at that time that he is straight and that he can't just picture himself being homosexual, religious or not. Besides, we both have online jobs, so we're literally together the whole time and have mutual friends, so I would quickly have noticed any suspicious behavior. Today, I decided to confront him like many of you suggested. I had been repeating continuously my script in my head and went for it. We were both chilling after having lunch, so I asked him if he wanted to talk about sex and intimacy. He said yes and was curious about what was bothering me. I was direct and simply asked him why he won't do anything with me unless it's for kids. Edward got genuinely surprised and confused by my question. At that moment, I just wanted to disappear from this universe and evaporate. Because of my embarrassment, I'm not physically able to recall how the conversation went exactly, but it turned out that he thought that it wasn't normal to feel aroused around me, nor to have sex unless for procreation. I felt really bad for him. Apparently that's what he grew up thinking, and that's what his friends and environment he grew up abused him into believing. I cannot imagine that they did this to him. I'm sure it was to make fun of him and mess around, which led to completely messing up his view on sexual matters and desires. And there is no way that they also believe in this themselves. This conversation went on for a couple of hours. I realized that it must have been very hard on him to talk about this specific topic, so we had a rest from this subject and took a nap. After that nap, he apologized for not talking about this with me beforehand. We discussed many other things, and the fact that he never displayed any affection before our wedding was due to his beliefs. And don't worry, we also talked about our wedding night, but basically, he got aroused every time he came near me, so he felt extremely ashamed of showing it or acting on it, and thought that I was just teasing him. He also didn't want to do something that could be considered bad, according to what they fed his mind with. Not gonna lie, I expressed to him my resentment and the way that he never asked for my opinion on this matter. He apologized again and said that he was afraid of what my reaction would be if he expressed himself. We tried to sort things out, and we promised to start working on physical touch. Edward said that he would never do anything that could make me feel down ever again, and that he will always be ready to answer all of my questions. This realization was really like a slap across the face for him, so I suggested going to therapy. He immediately agreed, and starting tomorrow, we will look for a therapist. Going on Reddit wasn't really the best idea, but it really gave me a push. Having this conversation was definitely something that we should have done sooner, way back when we were engaged. Also, to everyone telling me to leave, just because the problem was about intimacy doesn't mean that I would leave him. Of course, if this took another turn, and if I found out that he was cheating on me or lying, I would have immediately divorced him without looking back. I know that intimacy is very important to couples and healthy relationships, but if Edward is not comfortable and has issues with this matter, I have no choice but to understand him. He has always been there for me and always showed me his love and support, just not throughout physical ways. So the least I could do is understanding him and respecting his boundaries. Until we talk everything out, I will not pressure him into doing anything and would rather do it step by step. In the end, we cried together and laughed about ourselves. Then he made us some snacks that we had while watching our favorite TV series. Now Edward is sleeping right next to me, closer than usual. I feel happy about it, even though it's not much, but I definitely consider this an improvement. I also feel much more better than yesterday. There are still many things that we need to discuss, and so many more steps to take. I think I might update our situation later on, but right now I would like to thank all the kind comments and nice people who tried to reach out and cheer me up. So yeah. Update 2. So, like I mentioned in my last update, we started looking for therapists and found some sort of center a couple of days later. Basically, they're like a group of therapists specialized in different types of issues. So once we explained to them our situation, they assigned us to a couples therapist. She was actually very understanding of our situation, and we have had a few sessions with her which are very eye-opening. She navigated us through our emotions and basically was more like a consultant than a therapist. As for my husband, he was assigned to another therapist and has sessions with him twice a week. It's not just because of our issue, but they found out that my husband has some deep childhood traumas that they need to work on. This journey will take him a couple of months apparently, and this is something that he definitely needs, so he's totally ready for it. As for our intimate life, our therapist advised us to show each other more affection before taking things slowly and watching educational videos as references. So for a week, we tried showering each other with random hugs, kisses, and cuddles, and this was really addicting. For Edward, it was really something new, but now he won't stop with the back hugs, and it's very comforting. Then, I started teasing him to take things to another level, like the therapist said, since Edward is still trying to build up the courage to do so. After a while, we made out for the first time. It felt super great, and from there, we started getting touchy. We did this for like 2 weeks and got freakier each day. The videos were really helpful. We also took our first shower together and played around. All these little achievements really made me so happy. And for the big thing, we finally made love 2 days ago. It was very great, and we took it slowly, but we both really enjoyed it. It felt like a different level of closeness, and I'm very proud of my husband for finally taking this step without feeling bad or guilty about it. Not only that, but we also went on some dates as a change of routine and tried new restaurants, which I really love. Edward surprised me with my dream restaurant, and we had a blast. Our communication is 10 times better than before, and it really feels like the wall that was standing between us is completely gone. There are still many things that we haven't tried, so we're really excited. I also told him about my smut obsession yesterday, and he asked me to give him a list of fanfics that I really like so that he could make them happen in real life. That was really so awesome. I still can't get over this. And lastly, since our honeymoon wasn't really a honeymoon, we're thinking of going on one this Christmas maybe, so I can't wait. By the way, to all the comments that suggested using toys, we talked about it, but the therapist said that this could be too early and that Edward might get addicted to it if we use them during our firsts, so I guess we will wait. Thank you everyone for all the kind messages I received. I don't think that there is anything else left to update, so thanks for sticking with me. In the comments, addicted to back hugs, got freakier each day, and a smut obsession. How good is blossoming young love? Great to hear that it's all working out. Honestly, it's pretty impressive that OP is able to manage and handle this whole situation pretty well. I'm glad nothing terribly dramatic or insane happens. This shows that communication is important. It's nice to read a story where things go smoothly without drama. Religious trauma can really impact people poorly, and it's really unfortunate. I wish the two of them the best, and hope that they're able to continue on. I know, right? Poor guy was just aroused, and had been told that it's basically a sin for a normal body function. I'm glad therapy is helping them as a couple. I think it normally happens more with girls, but this isn't rare. Lots of religions put a huge emphasis on virginity, and push girls to base their whole lives around how virginal they are. Then on their wedding night, they're expected to be 500% down to pound. It seems obvious in retrospect, but when you raise a child to base their whole lives and personality around something like their virginity, what are they supposed to be when they throw it away? It's like banning a 20-year veteran workaholic from their career field. They don't know how to be anything except their job, and now they don't have that anymore. This poor guy, imagine feeling ashamed because you are, checks notes, attracted to your wife. Poor dude is about to find a whole world of cuddly, snuggly fun. Our next post is by user Castro Was Right, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my, 26 male, girlfriend that she, 25 female, needed to apologize to my friend, 25 female, after she went off on her on a trip? This weekend, I took a little friend vacation with my close friend group. A few of them invited their significant others, and I've been dating my girlfriend for a long enough time now that I don't think it would be awkward to bring her along. So my girlfriend gets along with all my friends very well, excluding one. My friend Jessica is a very nice girl, and in a lot of ways is very similar to my girlfriend. I think this is just one of the cases where people who are similar just repel because on paper they should be very good friends. They aren't outwardly rude to each other, however, it's clear that they just don't vibe. So 3 things happened on this trip that led to disaster. 1. On our first day there, we planned on going to the beach. While we were getting ready, my girlfriend realized and told me that she was feeling bloated and she forgot to pack a one-piece to wear. I told her we could just chill in the room, and she said she wanted to go down to the beach, but we should go buy one at the resort shop. On our way down, we ran into Jessica, and I told her that we were going down to the shop to look for a new bathing suit. Jess then offered to let my girlfriend borrow one of hers. My girlfriend immediately rejected and said we would buy one. 2. We were at a bar drinking and dancing. Jess is only like 5'5" and probably less than 130 pounds. She's also pretty much skin and bones, so she's a lightweight. Eventually, she got pretty lit and was finding everyone and trying to get us to take a shot. When she got to us, I was down, but my girlfriend wasn't. I told her it'd be fun, but she said no, and Jess said we were being boring, so I just took a shot with Jess, and this set her off. 3. The final issue was that the next day my girlfriend and I were late for breakfast because we were getting intimate and lost track of time, which was wrong of us. So apparently, Jess said she'd come get us, and as she walked past our door, she heard zoo noises, and then she went back down to everyone else and said that we were occupying each other's time, and maybe a minute. When we got downstairs, the group was cracking jokes, which I thought was no big deal. Then they said that Jess had heard us, which got my girlfriend mad. This was apparently the straw that broke the camel's back. My girlfriend snapped on her and told her that Jess has been catty to her all trip, and she's just been trying to have a good time. She told her to stop being such a pick-me-bitch to her, and this caused Jess to cry. I told my girlfriend she needed to apologize to her and resolve whatever beef they have. My girlfriend said that Jess needs to apologize to her for acting like she did, and that I'm being a dick for taking her side. We've been fighting about this since we got back, and things are now awkward with Jess. My friends are split on this, as some think that my girlfriend was being overboard, while some think that she may have had a point, which I don't understand. Am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I could be the asshole obviously because taking Jessica's side does sort of make it seem like I'm prioritizing her. If this is the case, I'm also a huge asshole for missing the signs of cattiness that came before. In the comments, Fairmount 1955 says, "You're the asshole. I gotta say, I don't get why you think your girlfriend was the sole issue and owes Jess an apology. It seems like you're looking for blame." 1. Not everyone's comfortable borrowing a bathing suit from someone. I've heard people say it's similar to wearing someone else's underwear, so there is an ick factor. 2. She's entitled to not be pressured to do a shot. Not everyone thinks it's fun. And drunk people pressuring others to do shots is boring. 3. She heard zoo noises, and then she went back down to everyone else and said that we were occupying each other. That is gross of Jess. Girlfriend's reaction may have been more intense than necessary, but I don't agree that Jess wasn't problematic. Not being comfortable wearing someone else's bathing suit doesn't mean that the other person is in the wrong for offering. Correct, but the fact that OP mentioned it implies he thinks there was something wrong with his girlfriend saying no to the offer. Incorrect. He brought it up because girlfriend accused Jess of having an attitude all weekend, and one of the examples of Jess being so horrible to her is that she offered to let her borrow a swimsuit. To be fair, this isn't necessarily true. It's an example that OP chose, not an example that the girlfriend gave. She could be talking about other things that OP didn't pick up on, and may have zero issue with Jess offering her the swimsuit. Mobile Prune says, "With the exception of the first issue, which isn't an issue at all, it's not unreasonable for your girlfriend not to want to borrow someone else's suit. Jess actually sounds like the problem to me, so you're the asshole. When it comes to certain things like drinking and intimacy, you need to have a certain level of respect and tact, and it sounds like Jess has none. You don't call people boring because they don't want to drink, and you don't go around telling everyone that you heard your friends having sex. This isn't a TV series where things like that are funny." Back up to the post, we have an edit. "Okay, I get it. I'm going to apologize to my girlfriend and tell her that I was wrong to defend Jess and that I'm going to talk to Jess and make sure she doesn't ever speak to her like that again. Update. So I'm back. I know everyone hates me, but I was asked for an update, so here we are. I just want to say everyone was right. I was an asshole. I was being a pushover. I was being a shit boyfriend and partner. I did prioritize Jess over my girlfriend's feelings, and that was so shitty of me. My girlfriend and I are currently on a break. I tried to apologize to her and make sure she understood that I knew how wrong I was. I told her that I was sorry for letting Jess disrespect her and be catty, and that I'd never let that happen again. My girlfriend said that Jess has been like this to her since we started dating, and said that I've just been either ignoring it or unable to see it. Through a tearful back and forth, my girlfriend told me that she wouldn't let herself feel second to Jess. She said when I figure out what's going on there with Jess and I, then talk to her. But until then, she wants to get some distance from our relationship. So that evening I was heartbroken. But I wanted to still make it clear to Jess that she would not be disrespectful to my girlfriend if we got back together, and that she owes her an apology no matter what. I thought it would be better to have this as a face-to-face conversation, as there is a lot of ambiguity over text, so I went to her place. She apologized to me and said that she would call my ex to apologize to her. I got home in the morning, and I just spent a lot of time reflecting on the bad decisions I'd made, and how much I hurt my girlfriend, and how right everyone who said I was being a shitty boyfriend was. So, I'll admit it, I effed up. I didn't protect the person I was supposed to protect. I was too blind to see Jess being catty and mean to her. If she takes me back, that won't ever happen again. In the comments, Proof Street says, "You slept with Jess, didn't you? You said you went to her house and came back home in the morning. This is exactly what your girlfriend was talking about. Now you two are most definitely not getting back together. If you have feelings for Jess, you need to be honest with your girlfriend and end the relationship. It's not fair to either your girlfriend or Jess. Just tell her the truth. You can't have them both, OP. Your girlfriend deserves a better partner. Also, after reading your comments about how Jess is tempting, I'm starting to think that you always had feelings for Jess and only started dating your girlfriend to make her jealous or to get over her. Jess is too tempting. Sir? Please be for effing real." That is exactly what he did. He was blind to Jess being catty because he has hots for her and got mad at his ex for not buying his BS story that they're just friends and Jess can do no wrong. Now he figured they're on a break, so it's fine to go bang the pick-me girl, but his ex will definitely figure it out if she gives him another chance. Although hopefully she won't get back with him in the first place. OP says, "Who says we had sex? Maybe she was just there when I cried." You're not denying that you had sex. So just be a man and admit that your ex-girlfriend was right to dump you and you care more about your friend than anyone else. OP says, "I don't care more about Jess. I just thought that if we did it once, it would get rid of whatever sexual tension was between us and we'd be able to move on. But now we both want to keep doing it, even though we both know we shouldn't, which is why I said I can't have her in my life if I want my girlfriend back." When asked why he doesn't just date Jess, OP says, "Our feelings for each other are just complicated, and I know immediately getting into a relationship with Jess would destroy my ex." OP? The moment you screwed Jess, you ended any possibility of getting back together with your ex. Nail in the coffin. I think you need therapy. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.